Hey guys, sorry. I highly apologize. I was up there, got in my rhythm folding t-shirts and totally missed start time. I just looked at my watch and go, whoa, we are awful late. All right, first thing I have to do is I have to come in here and I have to do an invite. Hopefully everybody that wanted to invite is still hanging out. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Still sad out there. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I have to listen. All right, there we go. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I got lost. I got lost. I was in there doing the t-shirt folding, and I just got in my zone, and I totally forgot to look at the time, and I'm like, what? I missed it. I missed it. And I'm afraid that maybe I'm here too late now for Junk to Gems to jump in. I've not seen them here, so I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. And also, I don't know about Gypsy Trails if he's going to still come in tonight. Kind of hoping he will. But yeah, I uh, I totally missed my point on that one. I'll tell you, that's why I did the short video earlier, just to give people an idea. You know what else involved with doing the t-shirt fold and in the day. It was really a pain to sit down and get it figured out. We're there, you know. We went through trial and error a whole lot. Hey, Treasure Hunter, how you doing? I'm not sure Lindy Oki or Mrs. Folder Job Jr. is still here or not. We do have 5 people watching, so I'm hoping some of them are. And for those that wanted to join the Trails, Junkie Gems, if you guys are here and whatnot, don't be afraid to click that link I just shared. That's the link to bring you on stage. Lindy Oki, yes, they are. Actually, I right now, hi, Glenda. I right now, this is not the actual shirt. There's actually has writing right here across the bottom of it that says Total Eclipse 2024, same color as the shirt. I got the logo on the back and everything. This was the prototype for doing those shirts. And I told him, I says, I'm pretty sure if we don't change that picture by putting something else into it, words or whatever it is, we're gonna run into a copyright issue. And so they thought about it and thought about it for almost a week. And I was like, guys, we're crunch time here. Let's get this going. And they finally came up with what they wanted to say, and it was just totally Eclipse 2024. And I was like, all right, good. Now I can do that. I can change the picture, and I can make it so even if it was copyright by doing that change, it's not copyrighted anymore. And I'll be darned. Right after I printed this one, we're talking within 6-7 days after I printed this shirt. I said, all right, good, we got it. I changed the picture. I sent it to print. I did 20 copies of the front, 20 copies of the back, and wouldn't you know, the printer screwed up. Like, no, this isn't working. So I was like, all right, we'll do a deep clean on the printer real quick. Just go in and do the software clean on it. And I said, well, your print will get better in 12 hours. I don't have 12 hours. I want to print better now. But I ran it, and it actually got worse. And I was like, well, that's not helping me any. So my girlfriend's nephew showed up to come to work as I was walking out the door. And I was like, dude, I did not see you backing in. I just locked the house. You got a key if you need to go in to use the bathroom or whatever. I'm on my way to Ithaca to buy another printer. That's not far away. And so I got in the car. It was probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I jumped in the car. I took off. I went to Ithaca. I got back home, and took that new printer out of the box. I put it next to the old printer, and I go to fill it up with ink, and don't you know, I didn't have any more ink. It takes special ink to dye these shirts. I was like, are you serious? All the time I was down there in Ithaca, I was going around. I even stopped at my favorite Mexican restaurant down there and ordered dinner to bring back home because I knew I wasn't going to have time to cook anything and didn't prepare anything. And so I get back home with no ink. Nobody sells it locally anymore. They used to, but nobody sells it locally anymore. So Amazon ordered, man, I got to have this tomorrow, you know. And I ordered ink, and I also ordered some other stuff for the other printer to try to get that one cleaned out and get that one up and running. And my thought was, new printer prints the front, the old printer prints the back. Let's get both of them running to get them running simultaneously. Everything's going to be good. So I put in an overnight order with Amazon, and the next day I got it. And the new printer was messing up just as much as the old printer was. And I'm like, are you serious? Part of the order that I put in was all this new ink, you know, and maintenance. There was a maintenance box in the back of these Epson printers that once you do a clean out twice on them, I think it is, it fills it up, and then you have to change that out and put a new one in. Well, Len, thank you. It was a compliment, I do believe. So I went through and I changed out the maintenance box in the first one, and I did another clean on it, thinking, well, maybe this will work, and it didn't. And so then I jumped on YouTube and said, what the heck can I do? And back to Amazon again. Okay, well, now I got to have this cleaning kit so I can go in and really super deep clean these machines. And fortunately, the new one only had one color that was messing up. So I cleaned that. And said, we'll go do this, and then wait 12 hours. And I'm not waiting 12 hours. I got to get these going. So I just went through and said, okay, well, print me a sheet and see what it looks like. I printed it, came out fine. I'm like, all right, great. I got this one running. The second one, my older printer, still not running. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I got one. Let's get these going. And I printed out, you know, 100 copies of the front, 100 copies of the back. I made sure I had enough sleeves. I made sure I had everything I needed to really jump in on this thing. And first thing Thursday morning, my employee Jimmy jumped on it. You know, I told him, I said, plan on working on t-shirts when you get here tomorrow. This is Wednesday night. One printer running, and I'm going to really burn them up. And he's like, all right, cool. So he shows up, and he spent probably, I think it was five to 6 hours just printing t-shirts, front and sleeves. That's all he did was front and sleeves. And then Friday, I was like, okay, he didn't get through the whole pile of t-shirts I got to do. I still haven't got through the whole pile of them. I got through the first order of them, but I got more I'm going to be adding. And I was like, all right, well, I got to finish this pile and then get them toward printing out the back. And so I spent all day Friday printing the rest of the fronts, doing the sleeves, and then finally got started on doing the backs. I had people stop by to visit, and I was like, okay, well, I can visit for a little bit, but not very long. So then Saturday, you know, today, I finished printing all the backs and went right into folding. That's why I'm so late. I got right into folding. I mean, I hit my zone on folding. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't paying attention to time. I just was not paying attention to time. I got a clock. It sits right in the room so I can look and see what time it is. I didn't bother looking at the clock. I had the TV on for background noise, and the program changed. I didn't pay attention, and I was just like, keep going. And when I finally looked at my watch, I was like, oh man, you're almost half an hour late getting started. So I do apologize. There were I think it was Gypsy Trails was supposed to jump in here with me tonight, and I talked to Gary and Mary, and they were supposed to come in and join me tonight. And because I was so late getting here, I think I missed the opportunity for both of them. And you know, it is what it is. my only excuse is I'm trying to get this done. Tomorrow's Easter. I'm gonna have my mom and my brother here for Easter dinner, so I got to get up in the morning and get that going, and then I got to get right up there and finish folding the shirts that I've already got done. Because, like I say, that's not all of them. That's not all of them. Right now, we're looking at 9 small, 10 medium, 20 extra large, and I think it's 20 double extra large. And then I'm going to do some 3XLs, some 4XL, and then I'm also going to be doing some youth shirts that I have in stock. So I'm going to be burning through my stock to put together a couple of really good boxes of t-shirts that they have available to sell. And the whole purpose of this, by the way, for those that don't know, yeah, Lynn, my mom is doing good, and my brother is as well. The whole purpose of burning through my stock and doing everything that I'm doing right now is to help give Mary and Gary a little bit of a head start. Last word I got was they were $1,700 from having the money they needed for their down payment on the land. So I told them, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do a little bit of a special kick where I'm not going to ask them for a whole lot of money up front. They can send me money as they have it available from making the sales of the shirts, and I will just ride the rest of it until it comes time to where they've got the money available to pay me. I'm just going to do the cost of it for a while because it's to help them come up with them. And I think that's very important. Actually, that's the whole purpose of it. Thank you, Glenn. So yeah, I'm busting my butt on these things, and my employees don't come back again until Tuesday. So I had just that one Thursday to put my boy Jimmy up there. He's my only employee that does t-shirts. I've had another one do t-shirts for me, and I would have put him on it if he did good the first time, but he actually cost me so much money the first time that I couldn't deal with it. I was like, ugh. Hey Paul, how are you doing, sir? He did so many shirts where were crooked and weren't in the same spot on every shirt, and it was just a total disaster. Now it's like, well, you belong out in the seed house, and that's forever where you will remain, is out in the seed house. If you're working in the seed house, if the labels aren't 100% perfectly square and centered, I can give you a little leeway on that. Humans make mistakes, but when you're talking the whole size of a t-shirt, every little mistake shows up as a big mistake. So I was just like, I can't have you here doing shirts anymore, bro. You're back out in seed house, never to return. Never to be back in the print shop. But Jimmy does a really good job, and Jimmy actually cares, so that's a big plus on his part. And if he does something wrong, he's just like, man, I can't believe I just did this. Okay, well, great. Take that one and throw it off to the side. We'll eat that one, but don't do it again. And he's like, well, I'm mad I did it the first time. Okay, well, good. That's the way I want you to be. That's why I want everybody that works in the print shop to be. And then, of course, today, last week I went out. Thank you, Melva, Donnie. Last week I went out and bought my new chickens, and I told my girlfriend, I said, look, before I buy the chicken fencing for the new chickens, it's not fencing, it's actually the Grower's Pride 8x8 heavy duty wire cage, kind of. I told her, so before I go and get this guy to hire this guy with his truck to go get it, we need to go there and make sure that they actually have one at Tractor Supply. So we went there, and I talked to a lady there, and she says, yeah, we have them in stock. And I was like, well, what can I do? Because I want to make sure you still have one in stock, and right now they're on sale. And I'd like to get it before they go off sale. When's the sale end? And she says, I don't know. I know it's on sale right now, but I can't guarantee it will be tomorrow. I said, well, how can I pay you for one now and then just come back when I get this guy lined up with a truck? And she said, no, we can put it on layaway and you can pay all of it except for $1. And that'll guarantee you the sale price, and it'll also mark one of them that we have out in the yard as being sold so nobody else can buy it before you come back to pick it up. When you come back, just bring this receipt and $1 and we'll send you on your way. And I looked at my girlfriend and says, is that acceptable to you? And she's like, absolutely. I says, all right, well then let's do it. And we left there and we stopped at Walmart. And lo and behold, while we're at Walmart, I run into the guy who owned the truck I was going to hire to haul. And he's like, well, hey, I'm coming back into town on Monday to bring back a load of bonfire wood for my kid. So I can't do it on Monday. He says, but we're here right now. You want to do it right now? And I'm like, all right. Not that I wanted to. I wanted to get here and finish working on these shirts. But I was like, all right. Well, that ended up being, we went back to Tractor Supply with him, paid for it, loaded it in the back of his truck, brought it here. I had a couple more to make, and so did they. So I started tearing down the other chicken fencing that I had around my coop and waiting for them. And then when they showed up, of course, I had to unload the truck. And they hadn't seen the house yet, so they wanted to hang out. No, Donnie, I have a son who's a druggie and he's a piece of crap. As much as I hate to say that, he's a piece of crap. I wish my son was a better man. I didn't raise him this way, but his mother took over control when he was really young, about, I think, 10 years old, and made him so he couldn't be a part of my life. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. But anyway, so we got the chicken coop all unloaded, but they hadn't seen the house since we bought it 4 years ago. And so we're giving them tours of the house, and of course we're sitting around, we're talking, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes and whatnot. And a couple hours went by, and then they were like, okay, well, that's awesome. Let's get back into the swing of things. Leah, you got things to do and stuff. I gotta fold these shirts, I gotta get folding these shirts and stuff. And that's where we end up, And when I first started getting up there to fold the shirts, I said, well, we have a special way of doing it. I think I want to draw on a tripod and record a couple of them, and then go and edit that real quick and put it out there and make it short and sweet. Put some music behind it. I had TV playing, so I couldn't have that noise in the background. And I don't talk when I'm doing that stuff. I fall into the zone and I just concentrate on what I'm doing. That's kind of the way I always work, unless there's somebody there to talk to. I don't really talk to people a whole lot when I'm doing things. But Jimmy, my employee, when he's in there doing t-shirts, it's only him in there doing t-shirts. I go in my office and do paperwork and stuff. I don't stay in that room because when he falls in the zone, he's got audiobooks on his telephone. He puts his headphones on, he gets lost in his audiobooks, and no talking. He comes in, if he's got a question, or let's take a record or whatever, he'll come out the headphones, we'll smell, we'll walk around for a while, and he goes right back in and takes back up again. And, I've learned. I catch up on some of my best YouTube channels and stuff while he's there working, because I've learned. If I'm working with him, he moves a lot slower and doesn't pay as much attention as if he's working on his own. So I really try to let him do his thing without interference, because, some people are that way. I'm that way. And, if I'm up there folding t-shirts and my girlfriend were to come up there and start talking to me, I don't fold another t-shirt until that conversation's over with. And it's time with, I go in there, I say something, I'll go with audio, I'll go with headphones, and he'll sit there and he'll listen to me, but he stops working the minute I start talking. And so some people work the way I work, and he's one of them, and I give him space. He knows what to do, and just I put him on it. I will be showing some more pictures here. I'll probably do like picture montage because I've got a couple pictures, I believe now. I'll probably do a couple picture montage of what we're doing on the porch above me right now. Yeah, Len, I'll be honest with you. I've always been the kind of person where I don't have time to stop and talk if there's a job that needs to be done. Now, like when I was at the plant working, if I was bored doing what I was doing because I was a supervisor, I could do whatever I wanted as long as the plant was running good. All right, Paul, we'll see you later. You have a good Easter too, brother. The plant that I worked at, because I was a supervisor, if I got bored and there wasn't anything much going on my end, as long as that plant was running good, I could just find guys in their house. That's actually how I got hurt and why I don't work for them anymore. And I just learned recently that, yes, they did sell the company because I wouldn't go back to work for them, and they were having trouble getting anybody else to stay there and work too. I believe Monday coming up after Easter is the day that the new owners come in and take over the plant. So that's kind of sad, and it's also kind of good because that means my boss, who's a couple years older than I am, who told me 6 years ago he was going to retire in 9 years, will actually be able to do his full retirement on his schedule because he's going to stay there for 2 or 3 years. I'm sure everything is going good. But I would go down and I'd help the warehouse crew. If they had a bunch of pallets to pack, I'd go down and help them pack. And of course, when you're packing and you got them for every other bag comes off the conveyor up, you have them put it on the pallet and you got 2 people doing it. There's a lot of talk about it and around and stuff like that. But you start paying attention, you know, it's just the way it works. But when there was a problem in that plant, do not stop me. Do not get in my way. And for God's sake, please don't talk to me until I get it up and running. How are we doing? I've always worked. You know, I've always been very, very independent and get lost in the zone. I remember one night we lost power, and the power came back on like probably within a minute. I went from the second floor of that plant down 2 flights of stairs to the cement floor at the bottom. You know, you had to go down, you hit a landing, you turn the corner, you go down, hit the floor. So I went down those, 1 step each. I got to the first floor and I started doing stuff. I got everything on that floor running. I went back up on the second floor. I got things going. I went up on the 3rd floor. I checked all the temperatures and everything, got that going. I ran up onto the 4th floor, and mind you, each one of these, you go up a flight of stairs, onto a landing, up to another flight of stairs. So I'm doing up 8 flights of stairs, basically, you get up to the 4th floor. Anyway, and get everything up there, and then go back down onto the 2nd floor and check, make sure everything is where it belongs, and get the plant back going. And I did it. And right after I did it, we lost power again. Well, there I go, you know, back off the 2nd floor, down to the 1st floor, get everything back and going again, back up the 2nd floor, get it going, check everything on the 3rd floor, get up the 4th floor, get everything going. I went back down the 2nd floor, and I'm watching everything, and everything's going, and I'm going, good, it's running. Power went off again. I come flying down those stairs, and my head boss, Bob, the engineer, is standing at the bottom of the stairs. He puts his hand out and he says, stop. What are you doing? I said, I'm trying to save this freaking plant. He says, no. Hook up water hoses, turn the water hoses on. These guys with these power systems and the energy area there, you know, the NICEAG guys or whatever that run the power, they have 2 backups. And when the first backup went out, when the power went out, they switched it to the first backup. I went down and I got the plant going. They switched it to the 2nd backup because the first one couldn't handle all the surge. And I got the plant back up and running. When that one went out, there was no 3rd backup. Now the power is going to be out. So now you got to go in and change a whole total frame of mind and say, okay, now you got to do this because it might be out for hours. You don't know. Don't know why it went out the first time, and maybe hours before they get it back up and running. And when he stopped me, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to keep this fucking place running." And he's like, "No, stop doing what you're doing and go back to procedure." And I was like, all right, got you. Because it wasn't going to come back up. It actually didn't come back up for 8 hours that night. It was a down and out for the long haul. And I went up and I talked to him after I got everything shut down and everything was taken care of. I went up and I talked to him. I said, "Bob, I am so sorry, you know. But my whole thing is my paycheck is based on making sure this plant is 100% running 100% of the time. It's not my power company to do the same, but it was my job to make sure that plant stayed running. My paycheck was actually based on keeping this plant running. And, you know, that's the way I am here. I mean, if I'm doing something, the power goes out, I'm out. Actually, right now, I'm very out. My office computer upstairs has a Blue Eddy backup system. And I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, the Blue Eddy failed. It wasn't because we had a power outage, it just wasn't charging anymore. It had no more power to give, so I had to plug back into the main electric grid. And now that Blue Eddy will not take the charge off of the plug-in from the wall. I don't know why. I reached out to customer support and said, "Hey, you know, I spent a lot of money on a system, and now when I plug it into the wall, it won't charge." I pulled out my electrical tester. I went in, and sure enough, it's putting out the proper voltage from the wall, plugging it into the Blue Eddy. But for some reason now, the Blue Eddy just won't be taking the charge. So it's not even a battery backup system anymore now. It's just a dead power box. And I've only owned it for almost a year. So I was like, "Hey, well, what's up? You know, come on, support. I need your help on this one. This is my emergency backup. It was from my backup internet, which is not the internet I'm using right now. Again, I'm on a Spectrum internet where I'm at right now. In my office, it's T-Mobile, which to me is a whole lot better. I can hook it up on that system down here because it is wireless. But the password for that is just 4 random words that are weird. And you have to be able to read them off the back of the modem that they send you, and then go in and say, "Okay, now I want to connect to the T-Mobile down here, and this is the password." And I've tried doing that a couple times, and the printing for the password on most things. I mean, I wear glasses, you know. When I'm driving, I don't wear glasses. When I'm watching TV, I don't wear glasses. But when I'm doing stuff like this, I have to read what everybody's comments are. I have to wear glasses. If I look at the back of that T-Mobile, not only do I have to have my glasses on, but I also have the flashlight shining on the back of it and a magnifying glass in front of me, trying to get it big enough to be able to do it and write it down. And it's just one of those things, you know. The print is so small and so close to the color of the label, it's very hard to print to read. And for me, it's easier just not to do it, you know. I've got bars on my internet where I'm sitting right now because the Spectrum modem is only 2 rooms over from me right now, so I've got really, really good reception with it. And so I'm just sitting back and going, well, it is what it is. We'll just make it work, you know, kind of like this laptop I'm on right now. First one I've ever owned that didn't come with a built-in camera. I did not know they made laptops without built-in cameras. I kind of like the idea that it doesn't have a built-in camera. I'm not too sure I like the idea that it has a built-in microphone that never shuts off. But, you know, it's one of those things. I don't know. Just rambling. So anyway, I got this new 8x8 cage. It's when I went and got my checks, they were in a cage like this at Tractor Supply. And I looked at the lady as she was filling the boxes with my checks. I said, "Hey, do you guys sell this cage?" And she says, "Yeah. The price sticker's on the other wall over here." And I went and looked at it. It's okay, $549. That's not bad. I'm getting ready to redo all of where my chickens are at. No, Melvin and Donnie, I have not found land yet. I did find 10 acres that I was interested in, and I reached out. It was under land contract, I believe, for sale by owner. And I reached out to them and I said, look, I'm very interested in learning more about this land. You know, are there any restrictions on this land? Because I'm looking for unrestricted land. Yeah, I thought that too, Lynn. It's called a Just Think laptop. I've never seen one that came without a camera, ever. I think I've had laptops that had cameras and no microphone, but I'm not sure. They normally come with a microphone too. But this one came with just a microphone and no camera. It's weird. Anyway, so I found this land and I reached to the person and said, hey, I want more information on this land. I have people in the area that are willing to walk it for me. So I need to know unrestricted land because that's very important. And also, I want to know what your terms of sale are because it wasn't listed in the listing that I found on Craigslist. And I told him, I said, look, hey, I've got people that are willing and local that can come up and walk that land. It's outside of Yell County, but not by far. I think it was 40 minutes from HalfAss Homestead and probably about 15 minutes from some other people that I have over there willing to do it for me as well. And so I told them, I said, look, I have people that are willing to go over there and walk the land. They'll do a video, they'll walk the land, they'll give me their idea of whether it's something worth pursuing or not. But I need that information, you know. First, I need the address of the property. Is it unrestricted, and what are your terms? That's pretty easy to ask if somebody has land for sale, right? I have yet to hear back, and it's been about a week. So my idea of hearing back is about the same as when I found one through a real estate agent. I probably won't hear back. I think the only way I'm going to be able to make this happen is like Jason and Tara were saying, find a campground in their area or somebody let me park the camper there and just park the camper, and whenever I can be there and just drive around and look for property and then try to contact the owners while I'm in the area and get the information I need. Because apparently it doesn't work with getting a hold of people by email, and none of them give you a phone number. The realtor did give me a phone number, but I chose to do the email form to ask for the information about the land. And I never heard back. And to be honest with you, I'm not really worried about who the real estate agent was or what office she worked for now, because I'm sure that land that I was interested in is no longer available. That was a 15-acre parcel for $45,000 that had electric and it had telephone already set up. So fiber optic, if you got telephone, you can get fiber optic, you know. And it already had electric. It didn't have water, it didn't have sewer, but I'm not worried about that. I'll pay to have that stuff put in on the land when I find the property I want. I thought that was the one. And it bothered me that I never heard back. But like Jason and Tara were saying from White Rock and Homestead, if you haven't watched their videos today, watch it. It's very informative. They had very, very bad experiences with real estate agents in Arkansas, and they weren't good. All right, guys, I've got somebody coming on after me at 9 o'clock tonight. I believe it's Gillum Family Farms. I'm not sure on it. Or Gillum Farms. I'm not sure on that. But I do know there's somebody that follows me. So I'm going to cut this one short tonight. Sorry I came in late. Again, I apologize. And I do promise next Saturday we will be here on time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. EST. And I will reach back out to the other guys, and I'll see if I can get somebody to come in here, and especially Gary Scuse from Junk to Gems Homestead, to be able to talk to people about what they've got going on and how we're working together to make it happen. All right, guys, I'm gonna call this one a short one. Sorry, I do apologize, and I'm going back to folding more T-shirts. I'm not even close to being done with the ones I've got done, and I've still got more to do. So everybody have a good night. Have a happy Easter, and I'll see you guys next week. Good night.